Okay, so it looks like the recorder has started, so thanks again, whether you're watching this live, which it's, what is today anyway? It's Wednesday, August the 8th, 2018, or whether you're watching this on the replay. Glad to have you here learning about AutoPilot. We're going to show you how to send your quotes, your invoices, your purchase orders, and much, much more out of Dynamics NAV without touching your keyboard. We want to automate the entire process. Now, a little bit about myself. My name is Rick Baxter. Yep, that's my picture up there, with Cost Control Software here in Carmel, Indiana. Just so you know a little bit about me, I help Microsoft Dynamics NAV users and sometimes resellers as well get the most from their software investment. That's really what we want you to do, is really utilize your NAV software as best you possibly can. Today I'm going to show you how to kind of use an add-on product called AutoPilot. That's the name of the software you're going to see today. It is a purchased addition to your NAV software. Some of you may Actually, some of you on the call, I think, may already have AutoPilot, and we're always glad to have our users here as well. It helps you automate processes, as you're going to see today as we go through the software. I really want you to get an understanding of the key parts of this software. It's just important for me to be sure I've done a presentation that helps you understand how this software works. So I've allocated about 60 minutes and a little time at the end for Q&A, so hopefully we will be able to kind of get through the whole process here in about 60 minutes. So sit back, relax, turn off that cell phone, turn off those emails, focus on the AutoPilot today. Okay, so I'm going to roll down here and let's get started. So this webinar is all about how to automate common activities in NAV. So I want you to really see how we automate a lot of the common activities in NAV. You may or may not know, but Dynamics NAV provides a job queue. So that's some software that comes out of the box for automation with your NAV software. I think of it as an automation engine. Okay, it's useful, but it's not very useful by itself. And we've talked to end users that use the job queue. Some do quite well with it, and that's fine. Others get very confused. And so we wanted to basically enhance the functionality of job queue, make the whole concept of automation easier and easier to set up. And that's what you're going to see today. Much more than an engine. Okay, you have to build what we call the human interface. So a lawnmower or riding lawnmower, either of those, they both have engines in them, but it has a user interface where you can actually create or do some product or some service, such as mowing the yard, and mine needs it at home. So always consider the target application as you design your solution. So as you're thinking about this today, you're attending, I want you to be thinking about what applications you want to design and how you want to see it. So I'm all about the human interface to automation. So as we go through this, I hope you'll like the way we have designed our automation process. So we start with what we call our dashboard, or we call it the flight deck, to manage your automation process. So here's a little picture of it just so you have it for later in your handout. Let's start with kind of the purpose of automation. Okay, the purpose of AutoPilot really came from this concept of how do we automate things and make it easy for users to do it. So we want to, first of all, eliminate redundant manual processes. Anything that you do over and over again, whether that's weekly or daily or once a month, let's eliminate those and build pilots that automate processes. So, for example, unmodified NAV reports, we want to be able to autofill the request page. So we can put in certain parameters into the request page. We want to send reports, let's say to salespeople. Maybe you've got 10 salespeople and they all need a sales report every month or every week. That type of thing, we want to automate that. Sending accounts receivable aging reports every Monday morning. So I'm going to start right away with an example of a weekly reports. So let me move this out of the way and let's take a look at the live software. So I'm going to go into the flight deck and I've got it positioned up here on my menu. This is the live software. So I'm in the live software. By the way, I'm in NAV 2018, but this works just as well in NAV 2017, 2016, 2015. So we've got past versions of the product. It has a little more features in the 2018 and 2017 solution than we had in some of the past releases. We have added a lot of multi-user capability, running pilots simultaneously, things like that. But the layout of the screen, let me kind of describe. You've got the typical nav ribbon up here at the top. And then you have a real-time status. This bar up here, 2 bars actually, is real-time status. And as you see it changing green and colors here, what it's doing is it's going down through the pilots. And we provide some sample pilots right out of the box. So these pilots, the sending invoices, the sending purchase order acknowledgments, sending an ASN, sending sales order acknowledgments, and some weekly reports. These are provided with the software, and then of course you can build your own pilots right from here where you edit the various pilots. Let's just review one of these. So I want to take the weekly reports. I want to start there. Keep it real simple here. So the weekly reports, let me just bring up the pilot card so you can see what that is. So here's the pilot card for the weekly reports. The user ID, it's got a language code, it's got the format ID, maximum number of retries. In other words, it's going to try 3 times if it can't send. The status is ready. So on 8/8/11 at this time, basically the next, here it is. The next takeoff is this time, 8/12. So, but I want to send this today. So I'm going to show, I got a little trick I'm going to do to get this to send today. You can also set up special formulas for your pilots. It can be, start of the month, end of the month, start of the year, end of the year, special dates, maybe certain dates. You can define, if needed, special formulas that would appear here then to send those pilots. And you can also control which month it sends and which day or day of the week it sends. Now, I've got mine set to fly every Wednesday. In other words, send the pilot Wednesday because it's Wednesday webinar day. So I want that to go today. One other thing I want to show you while I'm here is the actions. In other words, what is it sending? So I'm going to open up the actions, and this is where I could edit. If I needed to edit the list, I could and add some additional ones, but I'm sending 3 reports. So I'm sending the aged accounts receivable report, the outstanding purchase order report, and the customer top 10 report. So these are the 3 reports. These are all NAV standard kind of reports that we're sending. I think you can see them. Oh, you got to tell what company name you're sending it from, and some other information. They're all going to go as PDFs, so we define that there. So this is what kind of the setup area, and then we can also look at the delivery. Who are we going to deliver these reports to? So you can click here under delivery. And you can see right now it's said to Doug at Cost Control Software and myself, Rick.Baxter at Cost Control Software. I'm active, Doug is not. So it's only going to really come to me if I release those reports. Okay, so that's a little bit on the setup, pretty simple to do. And now let's show you how it works. So I do have my Outlook running, so no big deal. I've got some information here in Outlook, and we'll come back to that in just a minute. And so right here, we're going to go ahead and run this. Now it's set to go on next time of 8:12. So what I want to do is trick it just a little bit, and I've added a button up here to kind of change the time. So I'm going to switch it back to 7/1/2018, and that way it kind of, you see it's 7/1. This way it says, ooh, I need to run this report. So now it's in process. So it's in process. It's discovered that this pilot, this particular one, needs to be run. So it's starting to generate the objects, and it's doing the sales order. Now it's doing the, let's see which pilot is doing. It's going through each one. So it's going through each of these reports. And by the way, this screen here on the right side is just kind of a view. Oh, there it's come in already. So here's my email notification. Let me double click that. We'll see if we can get that to open up. Here we go. So here's the email that just came in. Came from Doug. He's set up as my system administrator. And this came in automatically just now. You saw it flash in. And it's sent the 3 reports that we selected. The aged report, so I can double click this. So here's my aged receivables report. It's also, we'll close that tab. It's also sent, oops, probably did that wrong. Here it is. The outstanding PO report. So that's come in just fine. And is also has sent the top 10 customer report. So that has come to me as well. Now, this is just, understand, this is just an example, okay? And what it's sending is based on the way you set up your pilot. So let me move this out of the way, and I don't need that email anymore. So this pilot, remember, has these 3 reports, and it's going to these 2, actually just me, the active recipients. So this is who the delivery is going to, but you could have 10 or 20 people here predefined that are to get these 3 reports. Or it might be just 1 report. It might be just 1 key report that you want to send to a whole bunch of people, or it might be 6 or 7 or 10 reports that just go to 1 person. So you define, see, how you want it. So it's a one to many or many to many kind of relationship as far as the action lines that you saw me set up here in the pilot and who it's to go to. Okay, pretty straightforward process. So hopefully you like that concept. Let's go back, see if there's anything else I wanted to mention here. So those are just how I've got my weekly reports set up. And it goes, you know, they're going to go off once a week. Okay, pretty easy. Okay, the other purpose of AutoPilot is to eliminate forgotten processes. How many times do you forget to run the adjust cost post cost to GL? Okay, let AutoPilot run that. Why do you have to do that all the time? Okay, skip that. Set up a pilot to do that. Calculating WIP. Do the posting and posting to GL. If you're doing WIP accounting, let AutoPilot run that process for you. Calculating material availability. How often have you wanted to kind of double check on an inventory item and see its availability? We have a little process for manufacturing that calculates that material availability and displays the next available date based on lead times and POs and so forth. So all these processes that you would normally have to run by clicking some button in NAV eliminates that, okay? Eliminates that completely by letting AutoPilot run the process. And the other big advantage is running processes off of peak hours. So there may be some report or some process that you're running that takes a long time for it to generate. And rather than running that during the day, you may want to run that at 2 o'clock at night. So you can run things at off-peak hours and things will process faster for you and still get the job done. And you don't have to sit there to hit the start button. That's the advantage. Okay, I'm going to do my first poll. So let me know. Let's see if I can get this to go right. I didn't do it right last time. There, I think it's right. So degree of difficulty, let me know what you've seen so far. Is it easy and you thought it would be much harder? Or it's hard and you thought it'd be much easier? Or if this is not for you, it's okay. I mean, if automation is not something that you think you need for your installation and you want to drop off the call, that's okay. We want everybody to get a chance to vote. Come on, we got 19 on the call today. That's wonderful. Appreciate everybody taking a little time with me, learning some things. I got lots more to show you, so don't go anywhere. Click, click, click. You got to click the button, guys. Okay, I'm going to close the poll out, and I'll share this back with you so you see what others are saying. We've got a 100% of you saying that you love it. It's easy. You thought it would be much harder, so excellent. You're catching on to what's going on here, so thank you very much for that. Good report card. Okay, let's go on to page number 4. Okay, so go to page 4 on your study guide, and I want to talk briefly about the key attributes of the AutoPilot granule. What are some of the key functionalities? Well, first of all, it's all real time. So that's what you just saw in this in the flight deck area out here, is the processes really to be useful. It has to show in real time, and the tasks are currently running the flight deck. So you've got this management console. That's really what this is here. This is our management console. So you as the system administrator could kind of look and see what's going on at any given time about how this process is running. So this design lets you see all the pilots. I've just shown you this one pilot. This is our list of pilots. Remember, the pilots, please use the arrow keys to select. So these are the different pilots that potentially could be running. Okay, so let's go back to our study guide. Second thing is set specifications. Each pilot, okay, which is the actions that has to be run, must have its own set of instructions. Okay, that's kind of obvious. It's got to have the date you want to run, the time, what action it's supposed to do. You define all those when you install the software. You define for each pilot, just like the weekly report pilot. Those are the 3 reports, and run those every Wednesday during each week. Okay, so you set specifications. Also, it's important to have delivery. Okay, who are you going to send this to? So each pilot will have a unique delivery or delivery system or instructions. So if it's going by email, you can send it to a printer or even to a fax machine. So if you want to fax something instead of emailing, everybody does email. I don't know why I even say fax. And I don't think you really want to print things, although you could, so that the report is ready when you come in the morning. It's just sitting there on the printer. I like the email concept. Let's not burn up trees. Also, they're one-to-one, one-to-many, or as I showed you, many-to-many. Many reports to many recipients is available in the delivery option. Now, this is important too. Triggers. What triggers an action? So what makes AutoPilot actually launch? The example I gave you was it reached a certain date. Okay, like it's Wednesday, so I'm going to send the weekly reports. Or if it's Monday, send the weekly reports. So there's some action, and I'm going to show you some more here in just a minute, that actually has to trigger the event, okay, to go. Oh, Doug just reminded me that another thing as far as sending, you can do FTP sites, so you can send things to another company's FTP site, or you could retrieve a file from your own FTP site. So if somebody sends you a file, let's say a vendor sends you a new price list and you want to update your item master. Well, the vendor sends you that file, you put it into your some folder somewhere on your server, and AutoPilot would be looking to see if there's a new file in there, and then it would update the inventory master cost lists, things like that. So be creative, okay, as you're using this software and thinking about all the different ways that you might be able to utilize the this software. The history, I think it's important. An attribute is history. We want to see a log of activity. So everything that goes out, we want a detailed logging of the events. And I think I'll show that to you in a little bit. So some other samples of what your workflow would be. So you will first review your pilot list, although I don't think this is going to change very much. You're going to review what you have in your pilots here. You might add new pilots, but once they're set up, I mean, we've got customers that have been using this for 3 or 4 years now, and they hardly ever touch this. They have certain processes that they wanted to automate, and that just sits there and runs. So there's not that much that you do on a daily basis once it's set up, unless you've got to create a new pilot, a new process. Then you want to check it out, but you typically set it and forget it. Okay, once it's going, set it and forget it. Okay, so let's see if you guys want to see some more. So it's really 3 more examples, not 2, if it says 2 there. So would you like to see more? So you've got to, oh, I got to launch the poll here. That makes it easier for you. There you go. So click one of those 5 buttons up there. Yes, I can't wait to see more. Yes, I love this concept and I want to see a lot more. No, I'm going to drop off the call, which is okay. I have a question. How do you ask a question? I'll tell you that the question box is open 24/7. So just pop a question in anytime during this meeting. And it is being recorded. Yes, yes. And you will have access to the replay as well. Okay, so let's see, we've got some active people, so I'm going to close this out and share this back with you. So 50% of you said, yes, I can't wait to see more. And 42%, yes, I love the concept and I want to see lots more. So we're going to do that, of course. That's why we're here, right? Okay, so let's go through 3 more great examples. So the first one, I've got 3 examples that I'm going to kind of buzz through here fairly quickly because I think it's just so simple. I just want you to see this. So the first one is sending an order confirmation to your customer. I think when customers place an order with you, it's nice to send them a confirmation that, hey, we got your order and I want to make sure that you agree that this is the order that we're supposed to be shipping. And so here's a copy of the of our sales order. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new sales order to a Celigorian Limited, and I've got myself set up. So I've already done this. I've got myself set up as the email contact at that customer. Normally it'd go to the customer, but if I did it that way, you wouldn't see the order confirmation come in. So this way you'll actually see the process go. So I'm going to order 12 base items, part number 70,001, of course. And so let's, and then I'm going to release it. And the release, this is important here, the release will trigger the send order acknowledgement pilot. So over here, in fact, let me just move this out of the way. So send order acknowledgement. This is this one right here. So this is, it's called a trigger, and it is a looking for basically a new released sales order. So AutoPilot is scanning the sales orders all the time, saying, is there a new one? Is there a new one? Do I need to send something? Do I need to send something? And it's going to send, here's the action line, it's going to send the order acknowledgement, okay, with this is with the event and the report. Here's the report number, and I'm going to use our reports pack number 7775. So that's the order acknowledgement report, but you could have any kind of design that you want. Okay, so let's do this. So I'm just going to park this out of the way, and let's put in a new sales order. Pretty straightforward. So we're going to come in here. We'll say new sales order. You've probably seen this a million times. So we're going to just press enter to assign the number. Customer number, let's do 20,000. Seligorian. Okay, you've seen all this. Overdue balance, yeah, no big deal. Now, right now, the status is open, okay, because this is a new order. Now, the only thing I'm going to put in, just to keep this real simple here, is on the lines. I'm going to put an item on our lines, 70,000, and what I say, the base, and we're going to put in 12. Okay, so now, because I've put in 12 or moved over here, does it send the order acknowledgement? No. Okay, just because I've been entering this or putting in maybe multiple lines down here, it's not sending it. What you have to think in terms of how it's been programmed to trigger sending this acknowledgement to the customer. The trigger factor is that you simply come up to the top and say release the order. We want to change the status basically here from open to released. And see if I can do this real quick. And I want you to, let me just see if I can do this real quick. Yeah, I think I can. Okay, so I see I've got AutoPilot open here, and so I'm going to jump back there real quick. So watch what happens. I'm going to go release, and it's now released. Let's jump back over to AutoPilot real quick. And if I'm here quick enough, and we just watch up here at the top, it's looking through the pilots. Ooh, right there. See, it says triggered. That means, ooh, it found one. And so what it's going to now do is send that order acknowledgement. There it goes. Do you see it? It flashed right then. Send order acknowledgement. That's when that flashed right up here at the top. And that's who it went to. In this case, it went to me. Okay, because that way you can see it. Otherwise, if it went to Seligorian themselves, this demonstration wouldn't be very exciting. So I should now have in my emails, actually it may have a little bit of a lag time here. Let me look. Yeah, delay trigger. I've got a 5-second delay on that. Here it comes. So here's the order. Let me just double click it. So we get this order confirmation has just come in. Just think in terms of your customer receiving this. This is what's happening here, guys. Your customer has just received a sales order confirmation, and they would open this up, and it's going to say sales order or order confirmation. You can, of course, design your own reports to look any way you want. And it is just doing this automatically for the 12 pieces and the total price. So basically we have sent the standard kind of order confirmation off to our customer so that they know that they got our we got their order. Okay. So Jean Marie has asked a little question here. What's the advantage of using this software versus an Outlook workflow in NAV to send order acknowledgments? You could use Outlook, but the concept is, or creating some flow or something else like that, is this is just all built right in NAV. So it's all built in NAV, and this email just goes automatically. So I think it's easier to kind of control all the different processes right here within NAV. Okay, so that's a first example. Let's take another one. Now, you may not want to send acknowledgments to your customers. That's okay. You don't have to do this process. That's up to you. Okay. Same for advanced shipment notices. You may not need to send to your customer an advanced shipment notice that you're shipping the product. But I know many of our customers do like to send kind of a notice to their clients that say, hey, it's on the way. So that's what this process will be. And all we have to do is think in terms of what we're going to do is we're going to go back to that same sales order, and I'm going to do a partial ship. I'm just going to ship 3 of those 12 and then post the shipment. And the post process triggers the send ASN, to send the ASN, which is, oh, by the way, that's this. So here's the ASN. It's sitting here. It's trigger ready. So it's just looking for any new ASNs that have come along. If there's any new shipment documents that are out there, it's going to go, oh, there's a new one, and it's going to send it and it's a one-time send. It doesn't send it over and over and over again. It's just a one-time send. Okay, so that one is running, and let's see if there's anything else I want to mention. Check your email for advanced shipment notice. Okay, so let's go. Let me move this out of the way, and we'll park this for a minute too. And I still got the sales order open. So in this number, just so I've got it, 1029 is the sales order number. And what we want to do is a partial shipment of the 12. Okay, so I'm going to just ship, quantity to ship is 3. So I'm just going to do a partial 3. And let's post it. So we'll post those 3 and shipment. Oh, I bet I didn't put a posting date in. Hold on. Yeah, yep. I need a posting date, so we'll put in W for the work date, and now it's ready to go. So we will do a shipment, and boom, 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 posting the lines, and so now you'll see down here the remaining quantity to ship is 9, and the document has been created, which I don't know if you've ever seen these. This is the shipment document here. So this is the NAV document that's been sent, and we can, if you haven't seen these, this is what it looks like. So this is the document for those 3. So it's and that's what the trigger is looking for, that new document, right? So I should be getting any second now an email that says, hey, we're shipping your product and it's on its way. So let me just check my emails, see if I didn't miss anything. That's the order confirmation that came in a minute ago. And I should be getting a new one. Oh, I bet this one has a little, there it comes. There it is. Okay, so there it is, real quick. And let's just open it up. So did I open it? Yeah. So here it is. Here's the shipment document. And notice on this one, the format is a little different too. It's saying, Mr. Mark Arthur, attached find copy of your shipment notice, such and such, from your order 1029, dated 9/8/19. That's my sample date. If I'd put in a tracking number, it would show here. It's from Peter Sato, and it will, of course, have all your company information down here at the bottom of your email. So this is a little more just a sample of how you can kind of format your emails with logos and website links and put some marketing stuff in there on your emails to your customer. Okay, so the shipment document, so what do they get? Here's the shipment, and notice that I didn't mention this on the last one. Notice the shipment kind of looks similar to the sales order itself with the boxes here. We like to kind of format our documents with this look and feel. This is all part of our reports pack enhancements to Dynamics NAV. Here it is down here. Look, 3, ship 3, order 12, back ordered 9, all standard stuff. So perfect. And that now has gone to your customer again to say, heads up, the products on the way, and they would then be getting it fairly shortly after that. Okay, again, optional whether you want to use that or not. Okay, and the last one, which I think you definitely will want to use, is sending the invoice to your customer. So we sent the 3. Now we need to invoice for the 3. So this is kind of the final demo. What I'm going to show you is sending the customer invoice, and it's the e-invoice. Let me move this out of the way for just a minute. Go back to our flight deck. So it's this one right here. So this is the e-invoice one, which is also trigger ready. So it's looking, are there any new invoices, and it's just constantly scanning through. And if it finds one, then it says, oh, it's time to send one. So it's going to kind of look what invoice format do we want to use when it sends, and out it's going to go. So now all we have to do is, AutoPilot's sitting there ready looking for this document. So I just need to post the invoice. So let's do that. Get this out of the way for you. I'm going to go back to our sales orders. Do I have that open? Yeah, I do. So here's the sales order 1029, and what we want to do now is go ahead and ship the, invoice the 3. So we're going to change this quantity here to 3, and now we'll post and create the invoice. Hopefully, as I'm going through this workflow should not be that different than what you're going through currently. Okay, so I'm going to hit invoice, and it'll go and generate the invoice to the customer. And so it's quantity invoiced, and quantity invoice is 3. So good. So now the customer would be getting, without you having to do anything, that's the whole key here, without you having to do anything other than what you normally do, which is post that shipment, they should be getting their invoice. So if everything goes right, documents not been posted, okay, I should be getting an invoice any second now with that information. So this is the order down here on my sales order list. So give it just a second. Oh, let's look again. It might be the time factor on this thing. Yeah, the trigger delay. Yeah, that's 11 seconds. So you can, determine how quickly it's to go. So here it's come in. So it's from system administrator, is Doug. Invoice number, who it's to, here it is, here's the amount of the invoice, blah, blah, blah. You put in all the information. Your company information is going to go down here at the bottom. So you nicely laid out an e-invoice to your customer with the attached actual invoice for those 3. So ordered 12, here's the 3, there's the price, $120.61, and then it adds in the tax and so forth. So again, I like the layout of these invoices. I think it's important that, especially in these kind of customer-facing documents, you want a good, crisp-looking invoice. If you have questions on this, certainly give me a call on the layouts of these various documents. Okay, so I think you got that concept. All right, so let's see. I'm going to go back to the flight. Oh, I want to go back to the flight deck and view. Let me close out of this sales order and look at the log. Okay, so here is the sales order, and I want to take a look at the flight summary here. And you'll see down at the very, very bottom, here's the 3 we just did. We sent sales order acknowledgement, so it's keeping a log of all the things that it has done. And then it sent the ASN, then we did an e-invoice. They were all successful, no problems. And here's the documents that were sent out, the time of day. So you kind of have a log of all the shipments and work that has been done. Okay, let's go back to our study guide. And I think you've seen posted sales invoices. I'm looking at the people on the call. Most everybody here has seen a posted sales invoice, so we're good on that. All right, now I'm going to ask another poll, which I think is probably the most important poll so far, is how would you, in your business use AutoPilot based on what you, fairly limited knowledge of what you know now. I got to put this on your screen. Makes it easier to vote if you can see it. There we go. So would you use it for sending some kind of weekly reports like I showed you? Or would you use sales order confirmation, ASNs? And I think you can select multiples on this one as well. So if there's several things that you would do, you can check several boxes there. Run month-end processes. Let's see what people are saying. So everybody gets a chance to vote. You got to go quick. Anybody else want to contribute? Okay, I'm closing the poll out, and I'll share back the results. And we got some good voting going on here. 90% liked the auto send of the weekly reports. That's great. Sending sales order confirmations. Actually, that's a little higher than I've had in the past. The 100% of you thought that would be a great idea to inform your customers and confirm their order to you. So that's great. 80% like the advanced shipment notice. That's good. And 30%, look at that, 30% importing web orders. Some of you may get, maybe you have some e-commerce software, things like that you would want to import from another website or somehow get those into your NAV sales orders. So if you have a web order that comes in, rather than having to rekey it, I've seen some people actually do that, rekey an order. It's like, you don't have time for that. Set up a pilot that pulls it in and populates the sales order table or even a quote into NAV for you all automatically. Anything we can automate, let's automate it. Just be creative here. And 50% of you want to run some kind of month-end process, which is fine as well. So excellent results on that poll. Okay, I do want to cover a couple frequently asked questions just to get this out of the way. How do you order AutoPilot? Okay, you do have to buy AutoPilot. I do be aware of that. This is software that you do purchase. It is typically ordered through your local NAV reseller or consultant, or you can purchase it direct through cost control software. If you don't have a reseller, call us and we'll help you through the ordering process. So yeah, either way, works just fine. What's the price? Everybody wants to know, how much is this software? Well, it starts at $1,650. So for the smaller installations, it's $1,650. It goes up from there. It's on our price list on our website, or if you'd like for me to send you a quote on this product, plus the installation and training, I'd be glad to put together a quotation for you as well. Okay, so let's see if we got any. I may or may not do this last call. Okay, yeah, I think I will. Okay, so I want to do one last poll. I promise this is the very last poll. Grab your mouse. Got 17 on the call. I'm so glad you all took a little time to learn about this. And let's see some feedback today. Can't wait to get this installed in your office. So hopefully you like that one. We have several applications for AutoPilot. That would be great. Want my boss to see this add-on. So if you have somebody that you want to see this, that's why I record it, and then you can encourage them to watch the replay so that they can see this software as well. If it's not for you and you're going to drop off the call, that's all right. I understand. And if you want me to send you a quote on the product, you can check that box. So everybody get a chance to vote. Quick. Okay, I'm going to close it out. Share this back with you. And 20% said, I can't wait to get this installed. 60% said, I have several applications for AutoPilot, so it's more than just what I've maybe shown you here. And 60% also said you want your boss to see this. Excellent. Get you the recording. And 30%, that's excellent, want to see send us a quote. So I'll get you a quotation. I will need to call and kind of get a little more information from you to be able to do that, but I'll get you the quote. Okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, so we're going to now open this up for Q&A, see if there's any kind of questions, and I have quite a few in the question box over here. Let me just put up my contact information so you know how to reach me. My name is Rick Baxter. That's me there. I'm at Cost Control Software, so it's just rick.baxter at costcontrolsoftware.com. We're in Carmel, Indiana, if you didn't know that. If you're ever in Carmel, stop by and see us. So let's see here. We got several questions here. So give me just a second to look at some of these. Okay, Scott says, you would still have to have all the features that Outlook provides, such as return receipts and return receipts. Yeah, all of that stuff's in there. Gregory says, can this automated sales order acknowledgement be sent in anywhere I can edit the email in Outlook before sending? So in other words, you want it to, the way I think I read this is you want it to not send it, you want it to just generate the email, let you look at the email before you send it, and not totally automate the process. Greg, I would probably just use the standard NAV email system to do that. If you're not wanting to automate it and you want it to kind of have a chance yourself to edit it before you send, then I would just use the NAV email system. Okay, Doug had a comment which I think is well stated here, is that the verbiage that you see in the body and the subject lines, all of that can be edited, and it's basically you set up templates as far as what you want for your email documents, and so all of that can be controlled by you as far as what information you want to put in the body and the subject line of your email. So we really let you customize this. Okay, Gregory says, is this available as an extension for 2018? We ship it right now as FOBs. We hope to have it as extensions probably by the first of the year, is our direction on that one. Vicky says, does custom designs of email apply only to AutoPilot, or is that part of NAV? No, the design capability, like those, I think what Vicky's talking about is the layouts of the emails and the documents themselves is all controlled within NAV as far as the how this works. So AutoPilot does some of it, such as the body of the email itself, but the layout of the document, like a customer invoice, that's controlled within NAV. Okay, Scott, we got some great questions here, guys. Thank you. Scott says, where would you view past posted documents from this launch? Would you only rely on the Outlook records, or is there history in the software? No, there is history right within the software. Oh, look, everybody is downloading our scheduling catalog and catalogs from our website. So thank you for doing that. No, there is an option. I'm not sure I can find it immediately, but you can actually retrieve and view the history and the actual Outlook email that was sent to the customer right from within AutoPilot. Greg says, is the invoice sending affected by any of the warehouse setup? Does it work with eShip? Sure, it works with anything. So eShip or warehousing, you define where you want it to go and what it's to trigger by, and that's when you define these pilots over here. So as you're editing or adding new pilots, you will need to define where it's to look and how it's to run. Maybe you want an eShip document to be auto sent as well. So yeah, absolutely. Okay. So Jean Marie says, we are very manual right now, but have two large customers who have portals that we must update with order acknowledgement, ASN, invoice. Can this be used to populate their portals? As long as they'll receive that information, I see no reason why you could not send an autopilot to them. You'd have to maybe format the document so that it accommodates your customers' fields, but I would think so. I see no reason not to be able to do that. Oh, Doug's saying we have two business-to-business customers that do that currently. So, Jean Marie, the answer is yes, and we have customers doing it. Okay, the delivery queue. So Doug wants me to look at the delivery queue. Okay, so I think if I bring this up, I'm going to go back to a past. So here is the delivery queue of the past documents. Here's the e-invoice, and I think we can even attempt a redelivery. So if you want to redeliver something, you can do that. View the associated record if you want to see what was sent out. I think there's a way to actually view the file. Yeah, here's the invoice. So it actually tracks the actual invoice that was sent to that customer, and yes, you can open up the invoice from the history system as well. So we try to keep as much historical information as we possibly can. And Doug has mentioned that we do have several eShip customers that are using our product as well. Okay, so hopefully you got a good idea of how this product works. I hope you like what you see. And if you want a quotation from me, just send a message to Ben or myself, and we will get a quote off to you as soon as we possibly can. Thank you guys very much for attending. Next week, hey, by the way, next week I'm doing a session on charting. So if you want to learn about charting in NAV, do watch for an email from Ben on that with all the information about the one on charting next week. Thanks, guys, so much. You have a great day.